Good morning, everyone. So today we will discuss about the next phylum, that is Coelenterata. The members of Coelenterata, they are also known as cnidarians. The phylum Coelenterata is also known as Cnidaria. Why the members of Coelenterata, they are also known as Cnidaria? Cnidaria derived from a word that is nidoblast. Actually, Cnidaria derived from the nidoblast. Nidoblast or the cells, they contain the nematocyst, and these nematocysts, they are also known as the stinging cell organelles. So in all the members of cnidarians, the nidoblast, the special type of the cells, they are present, the nidoblast. These are also known as nidocytes, and the nidoblast or the nidocytes, they contain a very important, you can say, cell organelle, and that is called nematocyst. The nematocyst, they are the stinging. It is filled with the poison, the stinging cell organelles. Whenever you will see the diagram of the hydra, you can see here so many tentacles. They are present on the anterior side, and the tentacles, each tentacle has the so many nidoblasts, or you can say the nidocytes. They are made up of so many nidocytes, and in each nidocyte, the nematocyst, a capsule-like structure, a cell organelle is present, that is called nematocyst, and that nematocyst is filled with the poison. As you know the function of the tentacles, they are helpful for the anchorage. It is adhesive in nature. It helps in defense as well as offense, and to capture the prey also. When the hydra, it comes into the contact of any prey, the tentacles, first of all, it kills, it paralyzes. The tentacles paralyze the prey. How it paralyzes the prey? Because it contains, the tentacle contains nidoblast, and these nidoblast, they contain the stinging cells, stinging cell organelles, which are called nematocyst, which is filled with the poison. So tentacles, they help to kill the prey. Whenever it comes into the contact of the prey, the poison comes outside from the tentacle, it is injected to the prey, and prey is paralyzed. Then tentacles, they capture the food, the prey, and put in their mouth, that is called hypostome. So the phylum Coelenterata is also known as Cnidaria. Once again, why they are called Cnidaria? Because of the presence of the cells. These are nidoblasts, or you can say nidocytes, on the tentacles as well as on their body. And these nidoblasts contain nematocytes. These are the cell organelles which are filled with the poison. And overall, the nidoblast helps in anchorage. Anchorage means to penetrate It is adhesive in nature to hold with the prey, as well as it helps in the defense. It kills their prey. It also protects the hydra and other members of Coelenterata, and they are also helpful to capture the food. So these are the functions of the cnidoblast. Now regarding the habitat of the members of the Coelenterata, the members of the Coelenterata, they are mainly found into the aquatic environment. Mostly they are marine in habitat, but some of the members, the few members, they are also found into the fresh water, like Hydra. Hydra is found into the fresh water, but the majority of the members of the Coelenterata, they are found into the sea, or you can say into the marine habitat. They are sessile or free swimming. Some of the members of Coelenterata, they are sessile. Sessile means they are fixed. They are unable to move from one place to the another place. Their body is fixed. They are sedentary. Means they do not move from one place to the another place. And that nature is called sessile, or you can say the sedentary or fixed nature of the members. While some of the members, they are free swimming. Also, like jellyfish, means they are able to move from one place to the another place. So the life, either they may be the sessile, their body is fixed, or maybe free swimming. Then what kind of the body organization is present in the members of Coelenterata? The body organization is tissue level of body organization. As I taught you, in Porifera, the cellular level of body organization is found. But here, the cells, they are grouped together. So many cells, they are consist together to form the tissues, and the tissues, they are specialized to perform the special function. So the members or the phylum Coelenterata is slightly advanced than the members of Porifera, because here the tissue level of organization is found. Now regarding the body wall, the Coelenterata, the members of the Coelenterata, they are diploblastic. It means the body has how many walls? The two walls are found, and these are ectoderm and endoderm. The members of Porifera, they are also diploblastic in nature. The two body layers are found, ectoderm and endoderm, and here also the body, there are two body walls, ectoderm and endoderm, and because of these two germs layer, ectoderm and endoderm, the animals, they are said to be what? Diploblastic. Now, the body has a central cavity, and this central cavity is called gastrovascular cavity. Like in the case of sponge, as I told you, the body cavity is called spongocoel, but here the body cavity is called gastrovascular cavity. It is located centrally, and this central cavity, the gastrovascular cavity, is open upward through an opening, and this opening is called mouth or hypostome. Here there is a single opening. It's very, very important, present at the tip, or you can say on the anterior side of the body, and that is called mouth. And this mouth, or you can say hypostome, this is responsible for ingestion as well as for egestion. Both means whatsoever the food materials are coming from outside, it enters always through the hypostome, through the mouth, and after digestion, the waste materials, suppose the food materials, they are not going to be digested, they are eliminated outside also through this opening, through the hypostome, or you can say mouth. So the hypostome is responsible for ingestion as well as for egestion, both. Regarding the digestion in Hydra, the digestion takes place intracellular and extracellular means. Here the digestion is of two types, intracellular and extracellular both. What do you mean by intracellular digestion? Intracellular digestion is the process of the digestion in which the food materials are digested inside the cell. Intra means inside, within the cell. And what do you mean by extracellular digestion? In extracellular digestion, the enzymes, they are secreted from the cell and digestion takes place in between the cell in the cavity. In extracellular digestion, the enzymes, they are secreted from the body cells and digestion takes place outside to the cell, and that's why it is said to be what? Extracellular digestion. So intracellular digestion is the process of the digestion which takes place inside the cell, and extracellular digestion is the process in which food materials are digested outside to the cell. You just tell me what kind of the digestion takes place in the human being. It is intracellular or extracellular. In our body also, the digestion is extracellular. Means the body wall, or you can say the digestive walls, like the wall of the stomach, the wall of the small intestine, duodenum, means the alimentary canal linings which are made up of the cells, they secrete the enzymes, and enzymes, they come from the wall, finally comes where? Inside the cavity, and the food materials, they are digested inside the lumen, inside the cavity, and after digestion, all these food materials, they are going to be absorbed, especially in the small intestine with the help of the microvilli. So in your body also, in human body, you can say the digestion is not intracellular, it is extracellular. I am not talking about the body. Definitely the food materials are digested in your body, but the final process of the breaking down of these food materials take place inside the cavity, not inside the cells. And that's why it is said to be what? Extracellular. So in the case of you can say Coelenterata, in this phylum, all the members, they digest the food inside the cell as well as outside to the cell also, and that's why the digestion is of two types. It is intracellular as well as extracellular, both. Now there is a term that is polymorphism. The members of the Coelenterata, they exhibit polymorphism. What do you mean by polymorphism? Actually, polymorphism is the term in which the two stages are reported into the members of Coelenterata. In some of the members, both these stages comes in their life cycle. They have different shape of the body, and these two stages are polyps and medusae. The polyps are the sessile form of the body. It is cylindrical in shape. This is the polyp form of the Hydra. The Hydra body is in which form? In the polyp form. What is polyp form? The polyp form is the stage, or you can say is the body in which the body is generally cylindrical shape in structure, and the animal is what? Sessile. Means they are stationary or the body is fixed, means they are not able to move from one place to the another place. So if the body is cylindrical in shape and it is stationary, or you can say it is sessile, this sessile form of the body, this is called polyp form. For example, Hydra. But the free swimming body, this is called, like in the case of jellyfish, that is Aurelia, scientific name of the jellyfish, that is Aurelia. The body is free swimming. The jellyfish can swim, can move from one place to the another place, and this free swimming stage is called Medusae stage. And also the Medusae stage, they are not cylindrical in shape, they look like the umbrella. They are umbrella shaped in structure. So what are the differences between the polyps and Medusae form? The polyps, they are cylindrical in shape. The Medusae, they are umbrella shaped in structure. The polyps, they are sessile. They are fixed. They do not swim. The body is stationary. While the Medusae is the free swimming stage. And you can give one example of each. The polyp like Hydra and Medusae, that is jellyfish. But there is, I am giving one example given in an NCERT book also, Obelia. O-B-E-L-I, Obelia. Obelia is the animal which belongs to the Coelenterata. In the life cycle of the Obelia, both the stages comes in their life cycle, that is polyp and Medusae. Both they are alternated to each other. This is called alternation of generation, or you can say metagenesis. So the process of metagenesis, or you can say alternation of generation, has been reported in the case of Obelia. What is metagenesis? As I told you, both the stages comes in their life cycle, polyps and Medusae. Actually, polyps, they produce, this is the stage in their life cycle which produces Medusae asexually. The polyp produces what? Medusae by the process of asexual reproduction. And the Medusae stage, it produces polyps by the process of sexual reproduction. It's very, very important. The polyp stage produces Medusae by the process of asexual reproduction, and the Medusae, it forms the polyps by the process of sexual reproduction. So here, in the case of Obelia, polyps are the asexual stage. It helps in the process of asexual reproduction to give rise to the Medusae form, and Medusae is the stage which helps in the process of sexual reproduction, and by sexual reproduction the Medusae gives rise to the polyps. So both the stages, they are included in their life cycle. Both the stages, they come in the rotation, and that's why this is called alternation of generation. Means both the stages, they are going to be alternated to each other, and this alternation of generation in the case of Obelia, this is also called metagenesis. It's very, very important that you have to note down about the definition of metagenesis. So that's all about the characteristics of the Coelenterata. So once again, you can learn all these points, the features of Coelenterata, that the Coelenterata, the members, they are mainly aquatic in nature. Mostly they are marine, but some of the members, the few members, they are also found into the fresh water. The body is sessile. Their body may be the sedentary or maybe free swimming. The Coelenterata, they contain the nematocyst, the nidoblast. They are also called nidaria, as they contain nidoblast. The nidoblasts, they are present on the tentacles. The nidoblast, they are also known as nidocytes. All these nidoblasts, they contain the stinging, the poisonous cell organelle that is called nematocyst. So you will not get confused about tentacles, nidoblast, nematocyst. The tentacles, what are the tentacles? The tentacles, they are the projections present on the interior side, and each tentacle, you can say here, is lined by which cells? The nidoblast or nidocytes. And in the nidocyte or nidoblast, which cell organelle is found? Nematocyst. So simply you can say the tentacles, they are made up of nidocytes containing nematocyst, and tentacles, the function of the tentacles are very, very important. They help to paralyze the prey. When the prey are there in front of the hydra, for example, or the members of the Coelenterata, first of all, the tentacles, they kill, they paralyze the prey. As I told you, how the prey is going to be paralyzed? Whenever the tentacles comes into the contact of the prey, it touches, then the poison is secreted from the tentacles, as the tentacles contains the nematocyst present in the nidoblast, and in the presence of the poison, the prey is going to be paralyzed. Then the tentacles capture the food and put into their mouth, and from the mouth it comes where? Inside the gastrovascular cavity, where it is going to be digested. Then you have to learn also about the what kind of the tissue, what kind of the body organization is there. That is tissue level of the body organization. They are diploblastic. The body cavity is called gastrovascular cavity. The body has two stages, medusae and polyps, and in ovalia, both the polyps and medusae stages, they are going to be alternated to each other, and that is called alternation of generation, or you can say metagenesis. So that's all about the characteristics of Coelenterata, the phylum Coelenterata. Please note down 4 to 5 questions related to the topics which I taught today. First, why the members of Coelenterata, they are also called nidaria. Second, differentiate between sessile and free swimming stage. Differentiate between sessile and free swimming stage. The third question, What is gastrovascular cavity? What is gastrovascular cavity in the members of Coelenterata? The next, what kind of the digestion takes place? What kinds of digestion takes place in Cnidarians, or you can say in the members of Coelenterata? What kind of digestion takes place in the members of Coelenterata, or you can say Cnidarians? Next, what is metagenesis? What is metagenesis? Explain. And the next question is, make a level diagram of the hydra and write the functions of tentacles. Make a level diagram of the hydra and write the functions of tentacles. And the last question is, write the general characteristics of Coelenterata. Write the general characteristics of Coelenterata. You can write one more question. What is hypostome? What is hypostome in hydra? Write its role. What is hypostome in hydra? Write its function, its role. So that's all for today. Now I will teach you the next phylum tomorrow. Thanks.